Hello all and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. So today I'm doing a reading for the next 14 days, whatever that might be to you whenever you come across this video. It's your next 14 days. I only have 3 piles today, but I'm gonna go into quite a lot of detail in these 3 piles. I have quite a few cards in there, so we're gonna go quite in depth. We're gonna try to have quite a close look at the next 14 days. So we've got pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. You can pause the video and see where you're drawn to, what pile you're drawn to. Maybe you're drawn to 2 of them, 3 of them, if you're not drawn to any of them, maybe this message is not for you. So pause the video, see which pile you want to get, and I'm going to start with pile number 1. So pile number 1, let's see, how are your next 14 days, 2 weeks are going to go? So I have a general card here to represent your week. So we're going to start with this general card. So in general, your week is represented by abundance. Goddess of abundance, divine, let me thrive, let fortune be mine. So I definitely think that you are going into a period of expansion. You might even be going into a period where maybe you are getting more money. Maybe like if you sell things online, or you sell things, you might your week might pick up in sales. If you are someone who works on commission, maybe you'll get more commission. But this doesn't only mean material abundance. You will also feel very attractive. You will feel very beautiful in the next 2 weeks, 14 days. You're stepping into a period where you feel like everything is working out for you. You might even feel extra lucky in the next 14 days. So this is a really good indication. I feel like you will feel very secure as well, secure in yourself in terms of like feeling yourself. I feel like a lot of you might even be feeling yourselves. Like maybe you guys are getting like your hair done, or like a new outfit or something like that. Like I'm getting this energy of like, I feel good about myself. I feel really nice. I feel expensive. I feel, I think you'll be spending a lot of like energy on self-care as well, which will be very, very nice. So that is your general kind of like energy for the next 14 days. So we're going to look at these cards in a little while. I'm going to go ahead with the tarot first. So these first 2 tarot cards are going to expand more on this abundance message, on this general energy of the week. So we've got Page of Wands. Page of Wands is positivity. It's optimism. It's feeling super excited for life. Maybe you're starting something new. You could be starting a new job. You could be starting a new project. But there's just this level of positivity and optimism in the next 14 days. Like I feel like you just really believe in yourself. Even though you don't really know what's ahead of you, you don't really know what hurdles you'll have to jump over, you still feel very excited. You still feel very ready for whatever it is to come into your life and for you to take it on, for you to be excited, for you to get into the nitty-gritties. Like there's a very optimistic kind of like almost childlike, but not in an immature way. I'm getting more like childlike wonder about life in the next 14 days. So maybe you're getting opportunities that are making you see that, oh my God, like maybe you're getting I'm getting that a lot of you could even get manifestations in the next 14 days. And then we've got the 6 of Wands in reverse. So what I'm getting here is that you are I feel like recently, very recently, you have been made to feel unappreciated, or you felt like someone tried to make you feel like you're not important. This could have been like a family member, this could have been your own partner, this could have been like potential partner. We'll see, because I have cards for romance as well here, but this is kind of like I feel for you guys in pile number 1, someone in your life made you feel like you're not important recently, like you don't matter, like either they tried to do it consciously or it was done in an unconscious way, but that's the effect that it had on you. And I see that I feel like maybe the last 2 weeks you maybe spent feeling very unappreciated. You spent feeling like you're not valued by your friends and family. But what I'm seeing is that this week, or this week, the next 14 days, there's going to be a turnaround. I feel like other people, or maybe the very same person, will come forward and show you love and show you abundance. I think you will start noticing that actually I have a lot of people that care for me. Actually, I do have a lot of people that want to give me attention and want to spend time with me and want to entertain me, or want to talk to me about my interests. I feel like in the past like couple of weeks or a month even, there's been maybe a person who made you feel like maybe your interests weren't valid, that maybe your hobbies were stupid, that maybe there was like something that you hold dear and deem important is not valuable, and I feel like that's really affected your confidence, but not to the I feel like you guys in pile number 1, you guys are the type of people that bounce back pretty quickly. Like, you don't dwell on things. I don't think you guys dwell on things, so that is a really, or if you dwelled on things before, in the next 14 days I have really good news for you. You're not dwelling on anything. You're just like, yep, fine, no worries, I'm just gonna move on. I don't care, it's fine. Whatever happens, happens. I just keep moving. So very optimistic kind of energy I'm getting here. So the next 2 cards are representing your material wealth, your material world. So anything to do with money, career. It could do things to do with like even your home life, your physical situation. So we've got the Ace of Swords in reverse for your physical material world, and we've got the King of Pentacles in reverse. So I see that you are kind of unclear on what you want from your career in the next 14 days, even though you're very optimistic. So for example, I'm getting this energy of like you're starting a new journey, you're starting a new, maybe let's say you started a new hobby or something like that, and you're doing this hobby and you're really excited by it, and you're like, let's say, I don't know, something very simple. Let's say you discovered that you love cooking. All of a sudden you discovered that you love cooking, and all you do is cook. You cook and you get like, you make things for people, and you bring the dishes to them, and they're eating them. They're like, yeah, your cooking's amazing. They're enjoying your cooking. You're getting good feedback. You're feeling positive about it. But it's not, that's as far as it's gone. Like, you're not really sure if you want to, you're not sure if this cooking interest is just a temporary interest. You're not sure if this is going to develop into something where you're going to be doing it over and over again, like a repetitive hobby. You don't know if it's going to turn into something where maybe you can build a career on it. You're not sure, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just kind of feels like you discovered something that potentially you think can bring you money, but you're not sure how to make it into a money situation yet. You're not ready how to create a tangible money path with it yet. You're just kind of like doing it because you love doing it. You're doing it because it's enjoyable and it makes you feel secure and makes you feel happy. So in your material wealth, I don't see any like spikes. I don't see any growth, but also no loss in money. It's just kind of like you are trying to figure out where you want to go next with your money path. You're trying to figure out what's the next step. So if you've been trying to figure that out for another, like for a little while now, you'll probably be figuring that out for another while longer. You're going to be trying to figure out, where am I going with my money path? Where am I going with my career? What's the best way for me to earn money? What's going to satisfy me the best? I think that's something that you're trying to be clear on what you want so that the universe can give it to you. I think you've maybe some of you guys in pile number 1 have lost touch with manifestation in terms of material wealth, because you are concentrating on the physical rather than money as energy. You might be thinking a lot like, I need money because I just need money. I just need money. I just need money. But maybe you're not making a list of like, what do I need it for? What would I spend it on? What would that money fund and allow me to do? Maybe that's a good idea for you guys to do in the next 14 days. Make a list of what you would buy with the money that you want. How much do you want? Do a fake budget. Pretend you have pretend you're earning, like, I don't know how much, but let's say you're earning 100K a year, just to go with 0, 0, 0, 0. But like, let's say you're earning 100K a year. where is that going? Pretend that you do have that 100K and put it into a budget kind of like spreadsheet. Do an Excel, do a pretend Excel, and kind of like put it into perspective for yourself. That's kind of like what I'm getting. It's almost like the universe. I'm kind of getting the messages like, okay, yeah, you might want that money for security, but would you even know what to do with that money if you got it? Or would you just put it away in a, savings account and just go, okay, it's there for a rainy day? So the universe wants you to kind of like get clear on what you want out of money in your life. Do you need money just to have it and keep it, or do you need money to learn more, to to grow your skills? Do you need money to travel? Do you need money to start a business? Like those kind of things. Get clear. That's something that your spirit guides are saying, like get clear on what you want from your material world. Get clear on what you want on your career money path. That's what I'm getting. The next two cards are our spiritual energy. So what is your spiritual energy in the next 14 days? So we've got the 5 of Wands in reverse. So first of all, what I want to say, again, I'm kind of seeing it's almost like a correlation maybe to this person that made you feel like maybe you're not important, or you don't matter, or your interests don't matter. I feel like there was a specific person, or maybe people, a group of people, but I see that you're over the drama and you're over being made feel like your interests, your hobbies, who you are is not important. You're over it. You are over people being petty. You are over people showing pettiness in a very aggressive way, but also in a sly way. You're just done with all of it. So this is a really good card to get in, especially in the spiritual energy, because to me, this is signifying that you are connecting to your higher self in the next 14 days. You're connecting to this no drama, no resentment, no pettiness self. And I think you are going to feel a lot lighter. I'm getting a very light energy from you guys in pile number 1. I'm getting this energy of like, I am happy with who I am and I don't need approval from others. I am happy in how I'm doing and I don't need approval from anybody else. You might have felt in the last couple of weeks that maybe your life had a lot of drama. Maybe you've had a lot of like, maybe you bickered with somebody. Maybe there's been kind of like clashings, but you're kind of done with that in the next 14 days. You're really focusing on abundance. You're really focusing on harvesting this like abundant energy for yourself. So that's really beautiful. And then we also got a King of Wands in reverse. Okay, so this could be a King of Wands in reverse. This could be a male, or it could be a female with a very strong masculine energy. King of Wands in reverse represents someone who is bossy, someone who is sometimes is overbearing. A lot of the time, this represents someone who really doesn't see the other people's point of view. Like I feel like there was someone in your in your energy, in your close circle, who was just not seeing your point of view, and they'll never see it. They'll always refuse to see it. Again, it doesn't mean that they can't grow, but this is an indication like that it's better to, you're right, it's better to let this go. It's better to just let it float away. So this person, they weren't gonna see your point of view at this time. They are someone who doesn't see you for like your shine, I suppose. At the moment, it's best to just leave them be, and maybe at some point they'll come back and they'll show, like, express their wrongs. But at the moment, this person is very much like, I'm in the right. I am, I'm the most important person to connect to. But this is just energy of like someone who doesn't want to admit their wrongs, someone who doesn't want to admit that they are complicit in maybe some sort of drama, or they're complicit in some sort of pettiness or resentment. They just want to act like maybe very self-righteous people as well. Like there's a person here who's involved who could be very self-righteous, who could be very egotistical even, So for the spiritual part of this, what I'm seeing for you, this also could be representing a side of yourself, because when we talk about spirituality, this will relate completely to you. So in this instance, I do feel like maybe this kind of egotistical, selfish, overbearing shadow side of you has existed in the past. I feel like this kind of energy is something, it's almost like this person is a mirror to you, and maybe you're recognizing something that you really didn't like about yourself. So maybe you used to be kind of bossy and brash, and maybe even in the moment when you were like having this conflict with this person, both of you were egotistical and both of you were aggressive and both of you were overbearing. You know, it doesn't have to mean that only one person's doing it, because we're talking about the spiritual energy. To me, this is an indication of a mirror, like someone's putting up a mirror to you. Again, it's not like any shade to you. It's not any kind of, not to be shady to you at all. This is just, consider that maybe the reason that this person's overbearing, angry, aggressive energy bothered you is because it reminded you of a shadowy self, a shadowy part of you that needs to be acknowledged. So why would, maybe you have suffered with aggression in the past, maybe you have suffered with anger in the past, but it's important to delve deep in the next 14 days and see why, and where is that anger coming from? Why is it showing up in your life? So that is something that I'm seeing here for you. So you might be really addressing anger in your life. You might be addressing sources of anger when we talk about, like, if we talk about it in spiritual kind of way, you might be meditating a lot and try and meditate on your anger. Where do you feel it in your body? How does it feel? What texture is it? What does it have? A sound? Does it have a color? Like, really trying to figure out where is that anger coming from and releasing it. And again, if the other person can't release their anger, that's on them. That's not your problem. But I think it's something you're going to be questioning about yourself as well. Like, why am I angry? Why do I feel this anger kind of burning within me? And how do I release it? How do I just, let it go? So that's your spiritual energy. Very, very powerful for the next 14 days. I think, maybe you might even get triggered a couple of times in your anger. So just, keep that in mind. Try not to, if you're triggered, honor the trigger, honor the fact that there's a part of you that gets hurt by that. But, don't spend time being stuck on it. Try and release it. So then we've also got, for your love energy, we've got the Temperance card in reverse, and we've got the Sun card in reverse for your two major arcanas. So the next 14 days could be very important in your love life. That's something that I'm seeing. These are the first two major arcanas to come up anywhere here. So to me, this is, for some reason, it's really standing out to me. So maybe this person that we were talking about is like a love connection. It's a partner. Maybe it's your current partner, or maybe it's an ex. It's somebody that is frustrating you. Maybe this is a separate person to who we're talking about here. You'll be able to know. This is a general message and only 3 piles. So, take what resonates. But what I'm going to say with this love message is something is out of balance in your love life. You are going to look at your love life in the next 14 days and you're going to consider, are you yourself with the person who you're with, or like the person you're pursuing? Maybe there's a person you're pursuing, maybe there's a person that you're with, or just in general, you're going to assess, why am I not being myself with my romantic partners? Maybe you're the type of person who, when you date people, you kind of try to hide parts away of yourself because you're like ashamed of them and you feel uncomfortable exposing yourself like that, I suppose, and being vulnerable like that. I think you're going to be trying to balance and trying to understand, why can't I be myself? Why am I, it's almost like you're denying or rejecting yourself every time you're with this person, or just in general with romantic partners. In terms of romance, you will be kind of looking at your romance and going, why am I rejecting myself right now? Why am I rejecting myself in this instance? Another thing is, like, I see that you're trying to be more yourself, but it's almost like you're impatient with your growth. It's kind of like you treat growth as like, once once I grow, once I get to a certain point, that's it. I stopped growing and that's it. I've reached the goal. You almost treat growth as like, I just need to get to that one finish line and then I'm done with growth. Whereas it's like almost like the cards are saying, or your spirit guides are saying, it's very important to start treating growth is just never ending. It's like infinity. It's just infinity, infinity, infinity. Growth is not, of course, you can have mini goals within your growth, but treating growth as just like a continuous line. You're always progressing, you're always growing. And it's like you don't give yourself credit for that. You don't give yourself credit unless you get to that like goal. I need the goal. I need the goal. I need the goal. So in relationships, you might be the same way. Are you the type of person who's like, if you're dating somebody, you're like, okay, we need to be in a relationship together. We need to be going out exclusively. You can't enjoy like the in-between parts. And then maybe when you're with someone, then you're like, okay, engagement, or moving in together. Or like the next step is to get married. It's like you're always thinking of the next step rather than staying present in the moment. I feel like for some of you, this won't even be a problem with your partner. For some of you, this is going to be like an issue that you almost can't stay in the present and enjoy the present moment because you always want to get to the next step. What's the next step? How is our relationship progressing next? What's next? I just keep hearing what's next. I feel like you guys, in a way, you guys are very optimistic, very positive, very abundant, but you rush into things. You seem to like really love to rush and to get excited. I'm getting strong fire sign energy here for you guys. Definitely. I'm getting Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You don't have to be. You might have some important placements in your chart with fire, but this is just really sticking out to me. Like there's so much fiery passion in you that maybe sometimes you struggle to direct. It's just like you want everything at once. You want to get it all. But I'm seeing that you are trying to balance that part. So in your love life in general, you're going to be trying to stay in the moment and not to overthink. It's almost like the whole 14 days, you're kind of like, your mind starts racing going, what's next? And you go, okay, pull back, not what's next. I'm sitting here with this person on a date. We're sitting here, we're eating food, kind of like almost your brain needs to start going, we're eating food, we're having a really nice time. The conversation's flowing really lovely. Like remind yourself that you can also have a really good time in relationships, in partnerships as in the present moment. It doesn't always have to be like planning for the future. Some of you guys might even be a little bit type A because I feel like you always need a plan. Even though you're kind of like expansive and you like to, go after things, at the same time, it's almost like you're always looking for, what's the plan? Where are we going? What's next? You need to know. It's almost like there's like, even though I feel like you like to think of yourself as like spontaneous and adventurous, but there's definitely a side of you that needs to know what the next step is, if that makes sense. So then we're going to finish up with these two cards. I'm going to get to your advice in a second, but let's look at your color. So we've got green, revitalize your nervous system. So interesting, because the nervous system, again, I do get this nervous energy about you guys. It's almost like, what's next? Where am I going? What am I doing? In terms of like, and sometimes it's really good because I see with the abundant energy, you guys are super abundant. You guys are, I think in the next 14 days, you're attracting a lot of abundance. And when I think about the green, it also reminds me of heart chakra. So I feel like maybe a lot of you guys are attracting a lot of people to you, like a lot of friendships, a lot of, again, I was getting this energy of like maybe someone undermined you or didn't appreciate you. But the next 14 days, you're almost getting like all of this validation and appreciation all of a sudden from all your friends who really care about you. Friends, family, partners. So I do see this as an abundant 14 days. I think it's going to be a very good 14 days for you. But the only thing is like the cards are almost trying to ask you, don't overthink and don't don't skip steps. It's almost like, don't skip steps. If you're on a date with somebody, enjoy that date. Don't think about what's going to happen when we date for 3 months, what's going to happen in a year. Like, try and enjoy the moment. I know you're excited for the journey. I feel like you guys are excited for some sort of journey. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. But it's very important to stay present right now and ground yourselves. And then we've also got the advice of accept life's challenges. So again, I feel like this kind of want to know what's next in the next 14 days. Just accept life as it comes. Accept it as it goes. So I'm going to read out the lesson, and then I'm going to move on to the next pile. But we've got reflect on the things you've been called upon to endure in this lifetime. Remember that we're all presented with obstacles as a way of helping us grow spiritually and serve God. Your goal, to examine the challenges in your life and make peace with them. So maybe you need to make peace with the fact that someone didn't care about your hobby or interest or something you were telling them. Maybe you need to make peace with the fact that there was drama in your life recently. Maybe you need to make peace with the fact that you're not always going to know what the next step is, and there's a beauty in that, and there's a liberation in there. So definitely a very interesting reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you enjoy these kind of like longer but less piles but longer videos, more detailed videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Now, pile number 2, let's see, how is your next 14 days going to go? How are they going to go? So first we have this card that will tell us kind of like the general energy for the next 14 days, kind of if there's any challenges or what is the general theme. So we've got safe travel. Keep me safe and let me roam far away, but bring me home. So this talks about traveling, going on trips, going away somewhere, taking time off, maybe going on a holiday or, some sort of trip away, like a weekend away or something like that. So you will be kind of focusing on that mostly. So maybe it's going to start happen at the very start of the 14 days, and then you'll be thinking about it quite a lot, whether it's, kind of like, you're maybe reminiscing on that weekend, or you're preparing for that weekend, you're planning for it. So in the next 14 days, you're going to be planning to travel or go somewhere, to make a trip somewhere. So that's exciting, something different. I'm getting, also this makes me think of like excitement of getting to do something. So maybe there's it doesn't have to be travel, like serious travel. It can even be like, maybe you get to go to a party or a wedding, or you get to go somewhere fun. So that is something that's coming through here. Then we have the tarot cards, and each of the tarot cards from different decks will represent different things for the next 14 days. So we'll start with this energy, and this is the energy for, again, to explain the safe travel. What is it about, and what is it going to teach you? What is it going to be important for? So we've got the Fool card in reverse. So you are really, really planning something. Like, you don't want to take any chances with this. So I wonder if you're like going on a little trip away, and it's like, I don't want to take any chances to be like, let's say whether it's not wanting your car to break down, and you're checking your car and you're checking everything to do with your do I have everything? Your suitcase is packed if it's a suitcase. If you're going to a party, it's like, I want to make sure, let's say it's a birthday party, I want to make sure I have the present, I have this, I have that. Like, you want to make sure you have everything. And it's almost like maybe you're doing an itinerary, maybe you're going for a weekend away in some city that's exciting, and you're like, I need to make sure that I have all the ducks in a row, and I need to organize this trip so that it's definitely clear and organized and planned. You don't like things to be uncertain. You guys are actually in that way. You guys are kind of like almost, you like organized fun, I feel. That's something that I'm getting, like organized fun is what I'm seeing for the next 14 days, or it's going to be a big event that is like organized fun. That's what I'm getting for you guys. And then we've got the Ace of Swords in reverse. So Ace of Swords, again, you are not going to like any sort of delays. You're not going to like any sort of unclear energy to do with this trip, to do with this party, wherever you're going. You don't want any muddled waters. You like want to know exactly where you're going, why you're doing it, who's going with you. Maybe you guys are the driver and you're organizing who you're picking up and who you're dropping off and all of that, and you're like, I need clarity. So I do see a little bit of frustration here. So maybe some of your friends or people people in your life that you're maybe going on this trip with, or you're going to this party with, might be a bit more relaxed. They might be a little bit more like, oh yeah, we'll let you know, don't worry. And then they don't let you know and you have to chase people for information. But I don't see it being anything like super serious or anything like that. I just think it's going to be something that might be mildly irritating to you because you want to get the information straight. So then let's move on to your material energy. So this anything to do with money, career, your living circumstances, things like that, anything physical, anything material. So we have the Strength card, and we've got the Justice card in reverse. So to do with your material wealth, I see that you are chipping away. You're like, I feel like you are being patient and strong, and I'm getting this energy of you just keep going. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. That's kind of like what I keep hearing. So maybe in terms of like your career, you feel kind of like maybe you don't exactly feel stuck, but you also feel like it's kind of this energy of like, when you feel like I've been working for so long, I've been putting my life and soul into this project, into this business, into this job, and like the move is just not happening, but at the same time, it's just around the corner. That's the energy I'm getting for you. It's like you do feel like something is about to move. Like it's almost like if you're pushing a boulder off a cliff. I'm getting this energy of you like pushing a boulder off a cliff, and you're pushing and you're like, why is it not falling? Why is it not falling? I'm trying to push it so that it will fall. But you know that eventually it'll fall because you can hear like all the other little rocks loosening. You can see the rock moving. So it's like, that you're getting there. It's just that the rock hasn't fallen off the cliff the way you need it to. So to me, this is an indication like you're doing something, you're working on a project, and it almost feels unfair how long it's taking you for this project to take off, how long it's taking for it to take shape. But at the same time, it's coming. At the same time, it's on the way. Even though you might feel it's unfair, like it should have happened a month ago, it should have happened a week ago, you still know there's potential to get it. There's potential to get where you need to get, if that makes sense. So like you might have a little bit of like, not a pity party, but you might have a little pity party for yourself, kind of going like, oh, like nothing's working out. For the next 14 days, you might kind of go, oh, why is it not working? I really, really wanted it to work by now. I really thought something would come by now. And then right when you do that, something finally comes. Do you know what I mean? So that's something that is coming through for like your career, maybe a project you've been working on, your finances. That's definitely something that I'm seeing. I'm also getting that you may feel there might be a need for you to give extra care to someone at home. That's just, maybe, I feel like this message is not for everyone, but I feel like there's someone maybe that this message could resonate with. I just got it very quickly. There might be a real need, someone at home, like, so maybe a family member or your partner or whoever you live with, maybe your housemate, that needs a little bit of gentleness. Sometimes you feel like maybe they act like they're not. For example, I'm getting a really strong message, like, for example, let's say it's a housemate and they like don't wash the dishes and they don't leave the dishes out usually, but like lately they've been doing it so much and it's so annoying, and it's like almost like you want to get angry at them, but then it turns out that they've been kind of depressed and something happened in their personal life and you didn't realize. So I'm getting kind of energy of like, maybe there may be a need to be a little bit more gentle with someone at home this in the next 14 days. Be a little bit more gentle, be a little bit more understanding than usual with someone. That is a message that came through here as well. So then we're going to move on to your spiritual energy and what is happening spiritually in the next 14 days. So we have the Empress card, nice. And we've got the High Priestess in reverse. Oh my God, I love this. This is very powerful, guys. Whoever picked pile number to you guys in the next 14 days, like the spiritual energy, like it's almost kind of like the most important part of your next 14 days, possibly. You are digging deep into the parts that you hide from the world. That's something that I'm seeing. Something that I'm getting from you guys, pile number 2, is like you have recently become aware of all your strengths. So maybe you've become very aware of your giving nature, of your nurturing, of how protective you are. Maybe you are a very caring friend or partner. You've become aware of how much you do for people and how much you care for others. And lately you've stopped feeling guilty about doing things for yourself, because you've recognized that you actually do a lot for people. You put a lot of effort into people. You put a lot of work into people. And lately you're kind of sitting back and going, I actually don't mind being selfish on myself these days. I actually feel very good. It's like you feel good being selfish, but I don't want to say selfish because that's not what you're doing. It's like you don't feel guilty practicing self-care lately. And I think in the next 14 days, that's only going to grow. So you might be really putting effort into yourself, really practicing self-care, and not feeling guilty about it. You know, taking a 2-hour bath, you know, with a glass of wine or whatever you do, and not feeling guilty about it. Taking a day out to go bring yourself on a walk, treat yourself to like a self date, and not feeling guilty about it. So I'm really loving this energy. It's like spiritually you're nurturing yourself for the next 14 days. You're going to be taking yourself out on self dates. You're going to be pampering yourself. You're going to be nurturing yourself. And it's all because you have I think you've recognized the shadow parts and the light parts of yourself. And you realize that both of them are valid, and now you're ready to honor the light attributes of your personality, if that makes sense. And when it comes to the shadow, then I think you're coming out of hiding in some sort of way. Maybe you guys have had a revelation of kind of saying like, you know what, this thing I do, it is kind of, it's not great. It's not a good thing that I do it, whether it be, whether it is like victimizing yourself, whether it is self-pity, or maybe like maybe it's something like deceiving people of who you are because you are too afraid to show who you truly are. Maybe acting cold or something with people. I'm getting this energy of like maybe you like to be standoffish with people sometimes, or not that you like it, more so that you feel the need to be standoffish so that they don't see your shadow attributes. And it's almost like you recognize that in yourself and go, yeah, maybe it's not the best part of me. Maybe it's not the best trait that I have. I'm going to look into that, and I'm going to look into how to fix it, and I'm going to reveal it. And maybe you even talk to someone about it, whether it's therapy, whether you talk to a partner or a friend about it, and you say, do you know what? I actually just recognize this about myself. And I feel like there's going to be a level of liberation of you recognizing that you have some sort of fault and flaw, but not just recognizing it, because I feel like you've recognized that fault or flaw in like for a little while now, but it's like you've desperately been trying to hide it from the world. Like, I hope no one finds out that I have this flaw. I hope nobody ever finds out that I have this fault. And all of a sudden you're going to go, do you know what? It's okay to admit that I have this fault and flaw. It's actually kind of liberating to admit it. So there's almost kind of like a level of, I'm not going to be ashamed of who I am, and who I am when I'm on the good days and who I am on the shadowy days. So there's like this energy of like, you take me as I am, the good and the bad. So I'm really loving this energy. It's going to be very powerful. I think you're going to be really connecting to your higher self on a very, very intense level. And again, spending plenty of time alone could be very important in the next 14 days. Spending plenty of time, it doesn't mean you can't spend any time with friends and family and, partner or whatever. But I think maybe allocate at least a day next week and then another day the week after, where you contemplate, and maybe you spend a day by yourself. Maybe take yourself out, like, I don't know, go to cinema or go to the park, go for a walk. It doesn't have to be the whole day, but just allocate time where you can be with yourself and nobody else. Powerful, very powerful energy. So then we're going to move on to your love life, and I've got these cards representing your love life here. So we've got the King of Wands, we've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. So this is, for most of you, this will be relating to a person, a very specific person. This person would be someone who's quite fiery, someone who is quite, they could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. They are someone who is quite exciting. They could be quite adventurous. With this card, whenever I look at this card, at the same time, even though they're adventurous and fun, they also are quite laid back. I always think in this card, this king looks very laid back. He's very chill. Like, so maybe if he is a fire sign, they have a bit of like chillness to them. They're not kind of like always on the go, always on. They're a little bit more laid back, and they kind of like to just sit back and observe rather than go full throttle, but they can still be very exciting and very, very adventurous. I'm seeing that there could be a little bit, so what I'm seeing is if you are in a relationship with this person, you may feel like this person, your connection with this person, you like this person. I think this person has a very positive energy towards you, and you have very positive energy towards them. But I think that maybe between you in the next 14 weeks, you're going to be addressing, maybe you may feel like there's a lack of a spark. So for example, let's say if you are in a relationship with this person, you may feel like there's a lack of a spark, maybe in terms of like sexual energy, there's not a lot of activity. Maybe in terms of like romantic energy, there's not a lot of activity. Maybe this whole like kind of planning a trip is kind of you, maybe you and this person address, you know, maybe you haven't had a lot of time to spend together, and maybe you take this trip with this person because you want to reignite the spark. And I think that's something that you're going to be looking at. If this is not a relationship, like you're not already in a partnership with this person, you may realize that a person that you've been pursuing or a person that you've been interested in either has no interest in you or you have no interest in them. Either way, there's a lack of the spark. Again, there's a lack of the spark. There's a lack of, fire between you. And you may really recognize that in the next 14 days and kind of, then you can address it. For example, people that are in relationships, these things happen. The honeymoon phase ends. You kind of always have to restart the spark, if that makes sense. You have to restart. There's low energy and high energy in relationships, just like in life, just like in anything. So to me, this is standing out as like, if you're in a partnership, this is just like, this could just be a lull. This just could be, a lower energy where you're a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more reserved. But if this is a new relationship, you may just realize that this person's not for you. They're not really for you. You're not really for them. And I feel like you're going to be okay with it, to be honest, because the King of Wands is represented here upright, and this lets me know that you overall would have positive feelings towards this person. You would overall, it's just something doesn't mesh. So that is the love reading. So now we're going to move on to these cards. So we'll look at your advice in a minute, but we're going to look at the color card first and see what it represents here as well. So we've got magenta, connect to your deepest inner knowing. The spirituality is going to be super important. This is so cool. I think this is very cool. There's a real connection to your higher self here with connect to your deepest inner knowing. I'm also feeling like you are in quite a bit of a transformative period. It's almost like I feel like you're in a transformative period, but it's like you're in the shadow of the transformation. Like maybe the transformation hasn't come in full blown way, but it's on the way. Like you can feel something is about to change in a big way for you. So maybe in the next 14 days, you kind of are starting to get closer and closer and closer to this massive transformation. Maybe something really, I feel like there's a big change that happened in your life recently, and it's accelerated motion. Even with the safe travel, I'm getting motion. I'm getting things happening. So definitely expect things to accelerate in the next 14 days for, your for, again, I'm getting that imagery of the rock again. It's like maybe by the end of the 14 days you will finally push that rock off the cliff, if that makes sense. It's like you're pushing, but I feel like by the end of the 14 days you will have pushed the rock and something will kick off. So then we've got become better for your advice. So become better. First of all, with the imagery, I'm getting this energy of, this makes me think of the Fool card a little bit, because it seems to be very free, very independent, kind of like a dreamer energy here. So to me, this is an indication that it's very important to be a dreamer in the next 14 days, to dream as big as possible. That's another thing that I'm getting. Like, I feel like a lot of you guys do dream big, but it's almost like you dream big and then you might daydream about something big and then go, oh, that would never happen. And you scramble it and you kind of throw it away. So it's important to go dream big and then just stay in that energy and go, I have potential to make that happen. I have potential to create that in my reality. So I think that's going to be very important. But let's read the card anyway. So we've got, discover one thing that would make you better and more empowered at what you do and who you are, and make it a part of your routine. If this is difficult, identify why becoming better is something you wouldn't want to do. Your goal, to recognize how and why you sabotage your empowerment. Again, this makes me think of the Empress card. It's like you empower yourself, but then it's almost like you strip yourself back straight away. So maybe, maybe there's a need to look at how you empower yourself. Maybe your technique of empowering yourself needs to change. Do you empower yourself by putting other people down, even if, I'm not saying that you guys do that, but like maybe the way that you empower yourself sometimes can be problematic. Or if it's not problematic, it might be you empower yourself by motivating yourself through money and going like, I'm amazing, I'm great, I'm going to like receive this money, I'm going to receive this abundance, but only when I'm in this state. Like, you don't believe that you deserve abundance in the state that you're currently in. But the big message here, honestly, the spirituality one is really sticking out to me. It feels like the next 14 days are going to be very spiritual. This journey could even be the spiritual journey that you're going on. You're going on a spiritual kind of like adventure that you're meant to get excited for. You're meant to feel very inspired by. And in general, I feel another message, sorry, just very quickly before I go, another message that's coming through is like, the success that you're craving, are you also kind of scared to get it because you feel like you don't deserve it? So again, it's like you're craving it, you want it, but then as soon as you get a hint of it, you kind of go, oh no, I'm terrified, I don't know, people will think that I don't deserve it, I couldn't possibly do anything with it. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting here for you guys. You guys are very powerful, but you constantly almost pull yourself back like no, too soon, don't dream too big. It's okay to dream big. You guys absolutely should dream big. But this is your reading, pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed it. This is your next 14 days. I hope it was helpful and insightful. If you like this reading, please do like and subscribe. If you have any feedback for me, do leave it down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. And pile number 3. So let's see, how is your next 14 days, the next 2 weeks are going to go. So we've got the first card here. This is going to represent the general energy for the next 14 days. Kind of, what are you working on? What's the focus? Is there any vibes? We'll see what the vibes are. But so let's see what it is. So we've got trust. I am safe. I am secure. In love, I trust. My faith endures. So for you guys, it's going to be very important to have faith in people, in yourself. Trust that everything will work out. That's something that I'm getting here for you guys. Trusting that everything will be okay. Maybe you guys are quite prone to anxiety. You worry, you get uncomfortable when you don't know where. Well, I mean, most people do when they don't know where their life is leading them, can get very anxious. So maybe, sometimes I feel like you guys might even just expect that things are not going to work out your way. So it's going to be very important to really trust yourself. Also, when you're making decisions in the next 14 days, trust that you have the answer. That's another thing that's coming through. Trust that you have the answer. Trust that you don't need, you can ask for advice, you can ask for other people's opinions, but trust that you don't need that. You don't need other people's opinions. You really don't need them. So it's okay to just trust in yourself and move on. So then we've got the tarot cards, and they will be representing different things. So we've got the first set of the tarot cards, and they will be explaining this trust card for us. They'll be explaining, what does this trust actually mean? So we've got 6 of Swords in reverse, and we've got the 4 of Cups upright. There's something that you guys just need to move on from. Like, it's almost like the cards are saying, just move on from it. Like, it's not worth pursuing anymore. I feel like for some of you guys, you're stalking someone's social media. For some of you guys, you're like on their social media. You're on their, there's a person that I feel made you feel rejected. There's someone that made you feel rejected. They made you feel like, I'm getting that you made an offer to them, or you made some sort of like, you reached out to them in some sort of way, or maybe you were the one pursuing and making effort, and this person just like rejected. So now you're almost obsessed, checking your phone all the time, checking, that they responded to you, checking that their social media, did they post anything. I'm getting that energy. You might be sitting there and waiting, and the card is kind of saying like, trust that if they want to call you, they'll call you, and trust that you don't need to do anything else. Honestly, with the 6 of Swords, I'm in a reverse, I'm really getting energy, because to me this card represents social media, especially a lot of the time. When it's in reverse, it can be a little bit obsessive. So try not to obsess over social media. Again, this is kind of another message that I'm getting is like, trust that. I feel like you guys think that someone is doing better than you think they are without you, or someone that made you feel rejected is in some sort of way, is in a better place than you for some reason. And it's almost like the cards are saying, trust that people only put highlights into their social media. Trust that people only put their high points on social media. People don't put their failures on social media. I'm kind of saying like, maybe there's like an ex or something like that, or maybe someone that you're just interested in, or this could be platonic as well, where you're kind of like, oh my God, like they're doing better than me. And you're like obsessively checking. And this can actually become very taxing on you. It can make you tired. I'm getting a level of exhaustion. So please, in the next 14 days, try to limit, if you even can get off social media for the next 14 days, I think it would be very beneficial for you. If you can just get off social media and just not pay attention to it, just don't. And, you'll feel better. Trust that everything's working out the way you need. There's a reason that they rejected you or made you feel rejected. There's a reason that this person is not in your life currently. If they're not, if they are in your life, but there's still some sort of like, just trust that this is happening for a reason. So then we're going to move on to the materials. We're going to talk about, career, finances, your physical energy. So anything surrounding you, like your home life, etc., your possessions. So we'll see what is coming through here. So we've got Queen of Swords in reverse. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So in the next 14 days, I am getting energy of you guys getting some sort of offer. Whether it's an offer of promotion, this could be a job offer, this could be an offer to collaborate. There's going to be some sort of offer that you will be presented with that will cause you to overthink. It will cause you to think this offer over and over and over and over again. For some reason, this offer is going to be, I feel like this offer is going to be very pleasant. Like, you're going to be very happy that you received this offer. You're going to be feeling successful for receiving this offer. This opportunity, I feel like opportunity, offer, some sort of job. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very happy energy. You're going to feel abundant because you received it. But at the same time, you're going to go into a spiral of anxiety of like, should I do it? Why? Like, maybe this offer has a catch. Like, maybe it's a really great job, but then you have to move away from your friends and family. Maybe it's, an opportunity to collaborate, but you don't really know, the person. You don't know if you should collaborate with them. There could be a multitude of things. This is a general reading and there's only 3 piles. So take what resonates. But I'm really getting this energy of the next 14 days. Prepare to get some sort of financial, tangible offer that does feel great and you feel very blessed to get it, but at the same time, it causes overthinking. It makes you feel like, oh my God, should I do it? Should I not do it? Would I make a mistake if I were to go for this? It's almost like you're giving it is a valuable offer or opportunity, but you're giving it more value than it actually needs to have. So maybe you need to, I feel like there's a level of grandeur around this opportunity or offer. So you need to minimize it and kind of make it a little bit smaller, not as important, not as significant. But again, I'm getting overthinking about finances. You might even, if it is an offer that you have to move for, it may start making you overthink about where am I going to live? How am I going to get, how am I going to pay rent? Where am I going to get an apartment, a house? It might get you into this level of, oh my God, I don't know what to do. How am I going to do it? Where am I going? This kind of overthinking your living situation, overthinking the offer, overthinking, even though it's a blessing and it's a good thing coming in, you just can't help but overthink. And again, I don't know if that's a pattern, if that's something that you do a lot. Even when blessings come to you, it's almost like you're scared of the fact that this blessing is going to bring a change into your life. Sometimes that can be the case. But in general, I'm seeing very good things money-wise. I'm seeing very good, whether it's a promotion or an offer or an opportunity, it's going to be something that's going to allow you to spend money on yourself and others. It's going to allow you to be generous. It's going to allow you to get a lot of things that you've been wanting. So maybe, let's say you get a bonus or something like that, and you've been wanting, I'm getting this energy of you getting things like, oh, I've really wanted this. I've really wanted this. I don't know why I'm getting a hair straightener. I don't know, maybe some of you guys want to get a hair straightener, but I've really wanted to get this done. I've really been wanting to go get my nails done. I've really been wanting to, buy this video game. It's all of these kind of treat yourself energies that you finally can do. Or maybe you've been really wanting to treat somebody else, because I'm getting this energy of you are going to be quite generous as well in the next 14 days. So then we're going to move on to your spiritual energy. How you're represented in spirituality and where are you going to be putting your focus on spiritually. So we've got 4 of Pentacles in reverse. I love this because this is resonating with this message that we had here. Trusting and releasing control. Just trust that the universe has your back and release control. This could be, honestly, it could relate to both of these messages. It could relate to this message of somebody you feeling rejected by someone and you wanting to control maybe how they see you, want to control, oh, they rejected me, so I need to control how they see me, how we talk, how we interact. But all of a sudden going, no, I don't. No, I don't. The way they view me has nothing to do with me. Release control. Or it could do with this opportunity where it's you get this opportunity, this blessing, and you go, amazing, I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I got this blessing. But oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? What's going to be the details of my next place of work? Release control and go, it doesn't matter because I have this opportunity. It's a blessing and I'm abundant, and that's what the main thing is, and that's what matters the most. So to me, this is standing out as something where you're just you're trusting the universe. Trust the process. That's what I'm hearing for you guys. Pile number 3, trust the process, trust the universe. I really feel like a lot of you guys try to trust the universe more and more, but some of you are a little bit, I'm getting a lot of you might suffer from anxiety in general as well. There's like this anxious feeling. Just trust that good things are coming. Trust that the universe is pushing you where you need to go. And then we've also got the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords talks about, if we're talking about it in spiritual ways, you are not deceiving yourself anymore. You're working on not lying to yourself. So releasing your control, but also being very honest with yourself. You're going to be looking at times where you did lie to yourself. Did you lie to yourself about this person? Did you know that this person was going to reject you all along? Did you get the feeling that this person would reject you all along? And, you know, I keep seeing a clock face, and I feel like it was only a matter of time when this person was going to reject you. Did you feel that, you know, early on and you just chose to ignore it? Were you lying to yourself? Do you lie to yourself a lot in these relationships or friendships with people where you lie to yourself that this person will care and this person will be right for me? Sometimes it's not even the fact of like someone betrayed you and it's something dramatic like that. For some of you guys, this is just like maybe you were never compatible with this person. You know, maybe you thought there was a relationship with this person because it's almost like you had a version of that person in your head. And deep down, you knew that you and this person weren't compatible. Deep down, you knew that you and this person had very little in common, very little connection, but yet you were like, I'm still going to pursue this. No, we're meant to be around each other, we're meant to be together, we're meant to be in each other's lives. And it's like, were you lying to yourself? And I think that's something that you're asking yourself in the next 14 days. Like, was I lying to myself in these instances? Am I lying to myself here? What can I do never to make this mistake again? What can I do to never lie to myself again? I think that's something that you're kind of trying to figure out. You're trying to kind of put the pieces together. I think out of all the three piles, you guys are maybe the most, are having the most honesty with yourself. Out of the three piles, I'm seeing that like with the trust and the, you're just like, that's it. I need to be honest with myself. I can't keep lying to myself about these situations. You're kind of done with deceiving yourself, because I feel like sometimes you are your worst deceiver. Like, you like to make yourself believe that maybe a person who you have absolutely nothing compatible or nothing in common with is your soulmate. Maybe you're one of these people who's just always convinced that, you know, this person's my soulmate and this person's my soulmate, and you're kind of like, no, like, I need to start looking at things closer. And again, it doesn't mean that you have to be paranoid, because I do see that you guys might have anxiety, but I feel like at the same time, it's time to start using your intuition in a more like, almost kind of like, you know, if a person comes into your life and you go, it doesn't mean you don't like them, it doesn't mean they're negative or toxic or anything like that. It's time to look at it as like, oh, we just don't fit. I'm kind of getting, it's like sometimes things just don't fit, and that's okay. I keep hearing it's like sometimes things just don't fit, no matter how hard you try to fit two things together. Like, again, I'm getting the imagery of like the jigsaw puzzle. So like, if you take a jigsaw puzzle and it's meant to go like here, but you want to fit it in here and you keep trying to fit it in there, it's never going to fit in there, because it's not made in, like, it's just not meant to be there. So I feel like a lot of you guys try to make things work when you know that they don't organically work. They don't work in a effortless way. And it doesn't mean everything has to be effortless. Of course, you have to fix things. You know, sometimes in friendships or relationships, you have to, like, you know, come back and go, okay, we've gone wrong somewhere here. Let's fix this. But also at the same time, you know which friendships you can do that in, and which friendships friendships or relationships that doesn't work. And I feel like you guys are always trying to force things that you already know are not going to work. You already know are not going to be good for you. But it's almost like for self-validation, you need, you know, it's like, I don't want to feel rejected, so I need this person to accept me. A level of, I feel like you guys have suffered with rejection quite a bit. I think that, and I actually feel for you guys, I really do, because this rejection energy feels quite heavy for me. I feel like you guys have suffered with rejection. You guys have suffered with people who weren't interested in you, you know. And again, it doesn't mean that they were doing it to hurt you. It was just kind of like maybe they just never thought that you even wanted something with them, you know. Sometimes rejection is like, sometimes we feel rejected, but the other person didn't mean to reject us. That's another thing. But yeah, I definitely see, you might be digging up some sad feelings and some sad memories in the next 14 days. Doesn't mean your week is going to be sad or the next 14 days are going to be sad. It just means that you will be processing a lot of sadness and even maybe childhood rejection. Have you been rejected in your childhood a lot? And maybe that's something that you're releasing. You're releasing it in the next 14 days. But very interesting energy, very, I would say even a little bit melancholy. But also I feel like you're going to be forgiving yourself for a lot of things. So that's a really good thing. So then let's move on to your love life and what's happening in your love life. So we got the Hanged Man in reverse. And we've got the Ace of Swords. So with the Hanged Man in reverse and the Ace of Swords, I'm getting this energy of like, I think by the end, especially by the end of the 14 days, you're going to go, enough of muddled waters. I'm done with muddled waters. So for example, if someone's not giving you attention, if someone's ghosted you, I feel like even maybe you have recently been ghosted by someone, you're just gonna go, and again, she's cutting something off there, she's cutting that rose off. You just go, okay, this person ghosted me, next. You're not dwelling on it. I feel like for the first week of the 14 days, you might dwell on it a little bit. I'm not going to lie. You might sit there and kind of think about it and go, why did they ghost me? Why did they leave me? Why did they not care about me? Why did they reject me? And then the second week, it's like a switch and going, nah, move on. I'm done with it. Next. I'm seeing a lot of honesty in your relationship. So if you're in a partnership, like if this ghosting does not relate to a partner or a potential romantic partner, if you are in a relationship, this is kind of highlighting to me that there will be a lot of clarity in your relationship in the next 14 days. Maybe you and your partner are going to have very honest conversations. You might have very honest conversations about, what the next step is. Maybe you're going to have very honest conversations about where you see this relationship going. I see a lot of honesty, a lot of clarity. I think you will feel very refreshing energy in your love life, especially I'm getting midway through the 14 days. So like in the second week of the 14 days, you're going to start feeling very like, I'm feeling really good about my love life. I'm feeling very good on maybe you decide to get clear on what you want in your love life. If you're single, for example, you might stop dwelling on people that rejected you in the past, your exes, people that ghosted you, and you go, let me get clear in what I want in my relationship. You're going to go, wait a minute. Wait a second. I'm going to get clear on what I want in my relationship. And that's it. And I'm only going to accept just that. So to me, this is like an indication of clarity, no bullshit, no crossed wires. You're going to be very strict, very straightforward in your communication with potential romantic partners, long-term partner, whatever it is. You're going to be very clear, you're going to be very honest. Honesty is just all over your spread, to be honest. I'm seeing getting honest with yourself, getting honest with your partner, your friends. You're going to be honest, but also like honest in a way that's giving you clarity. You're not honest just for the sake of like maybe being blunt or harsh. You're honest for the sake of illuminating problems and illuminating points where there needs to be a change. So now let's move on to your color card. We'll get to your advice in a second, but we have orange coral for your color card. Allow flow and synchronicity into your life. So allow, again, trust the universe, trust that everything will flow and will naturally develop, that you don't need to retain this control. Trust that the universe has your back, as I said at the start of this reading. With the coral orange, I'm also getting sacral chakra. So I'm getting sacral and throat chakra. So some of you guys might have your throat chakra blocked, or maybe you guys have been blocked with your throat chakra for a while and you felt like you couldn't speak up. Like if someone ghosted you, you couldn't speak up. I feel like you will be able to speak up at the end of these 14 days. You will be speaking up. You will be talking very frankly about various things and various topics. You're going to be very honest about how you feel. And with the orange here in the sacral chakra, I feel like you are going to be trying to unblock. I feel like you really want to feel desirable. You really want to feel like people desire you, whether it's in a romantic sense or in, just social sense. You want people to want you around. You want to be desirable. You want to be wanted and welcome. And that's something that you're not feeling right now. So in the next 14 days, you're going to be processing and trying to get to that point where you feel desired no matter how another person treats you. You feel wanted and welcome no matter how another person talks to you. And your advice is notice subtle changes. So it says, color is power. Select a color you don't normally wear. Maybe it's coral. And introduce that into your wardrobe. This changes the energy in your field, including your sense of self. Your goal, to discover how subtle changes can increase or decrease your comfort level. Maybe you guys are changing like your wardrobe or something. Like I'm getting this energy of like maybe you're changing the way you dress yourself. Again, maybe it's a good idea to dress in orange. Try wearing orange a little bit more, because I'm getting this energy that like your sacral chakra needs a little bit of help. So but that's the reading that I got for you guys, pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you liked it, do like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you want to leave any feedback, do leave it in the comments. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.